Hello, stamping friends. I'm Terri Hartley with Rustic Barn Cards. Welcome. I'm glad you're here today. So today I'm going to show you how to make some quick and easy cards using designer series paper, a stamp set, and some ink. And I'm going to be using the Berry Blessings from the Sale-A-Bration Catalog. Guess if I get it turned around correctly. So I'm going to be using the designer series paper from the Sale-A-Bration, and that is the Berry Blessings and the designer series paper that goes with the stamp set. And this is a free item that you can choose by placing a $100 order. There are other items to choose from Sale-A-Bration for placing a $50 order. So there's free items that you can choose when you place a $50 order or a $100 order. But Sale-A-Bration is ending. This Sunday, February 28th, is the last day. So if there's anything on your wish list, you might want to think about ordering it so you can take advantage of Sale-A-Bration. This is also a wonderful time to join my team during Sale-A-Bration. You can choose $125 worth of product, pay $99, and free shipping. Plus, you also receive 200 sheets of pattern paper, which we call designer series paper, and that is just going on through Sunday. So the extra 5 packs of designer series paper you can receive for joining my team is just through this Sunday, February 28th. And then you can place an order after you join my team, and you'll be saving 20%. So isn't that great? So you can be a discount shopper. You don't have to start a business. So think about that. I'll have some information down below in my description. And if this is the first time you're here, please consider subscribing by clicking that subscribe button. Thank you to those of you returning. And again, we're going to make some quick and easy cards today using designer series paper, the Blessings stamp set and designer series paper, and some ink. So let's turn the camera down and let's start stamping. So today we're going to make some cards using stamps, ink, and paper. So that's all we're going to use. You don't need a cut and emboss machine. You don't need a heat tool. So just stamps, ink, and paper. And I'm going to be using a free item from the Sale-A-Bration Catalog. And the Sale-A-Bration is just 2 months this year, and that means Sunday, the 28th of February, is the last day for Sale-A-Bration, and that is just in 3 days. So 3 days from today, when I'm filming on Thursday, February 25th, 2021, Sale-A-Bration ends in 3 days. So if you would like an item from the Sale-A-Bration, you can place a $50 order, and you can choose one of the free items in here that say free with a $50 purchase. And then there are a couple items in here, and one that I'm going to be using on page 14 today to make cards. And this you can receive free when you place a $100 order before shipping and tax. So I'm going to be using the Berry Blessings stamp set and the pattern paper that we call designer series paper. And this set makes some bright and cheerful cards. So this is the stamp set. And here is some of the paper that goes with the Berry Blessings that you can get free. And then they are two-sided. So again, if you would like a celebration item, make sure you place an order before Sunday so you can earn a free gift from the Sale-A-Bration Catalog. And that also means this Sunday, the starter kit special, if you join my Rustic Barn Cards team, you can choose $125 worth of product from the annual and the mini catalog. You only pay $99, free shipping. But through Sunday, you also receive 5 packs of 6x6 pattern paper. It's like 200 sheets of designer series paper, which is our pattern paper, free. So if you want to be a discount shopper, because after you choose the starter kit, your very first order, after that, you will save 20% on each item. And if you want more information, you can go to rusticbarncards.com. Let's start stamping and make some cards. So I'm going to bring in our card base, which is Granny Apple Green, and that is cut at 8.5 by 5.5, folded in half, and we'll score that. Basic white, 4 inches by 5 1/4. We're going to stamp on that. And then I'm just bringing in 3 inches by 1.5 inches, and this will be our sentiment. And then I have a piece of designer series paper, and it's 2-sided, and this is 1 inch by 5 1/4. And then our designer series paper that is cut at 5 1/4 by 4. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the stamping, and I'm going to bring in Granny Apple Green for our sentiment. And I'm going to bring in Wishing You the Very Best. So I'm going to stamp that right in the middle. And then I'm going to bring in a Pacific Point and a little scratch paper. A little scrap of grid. And we are going to do a little stamping. And I'm going to stamp off. And just on the corner, and I am going to make sure I have it. There we go. Then that's going to bring the outline. And then we're going to line that up. There, move that out of the way. I'm doing full strength on that. And get this lined up. So we have just a little bit of the little berries on our sentiment. And it's like I have ink on my hands, so that's why we have 2 sides, right? And I want to go ahead and do the same inside of my card. And I'm going to then bring the outline in. And we'll line that up right here. There we go. And now we'll see if we can close this without getting ink on my hands. And we are ready to put this inside our card base. I'm going to bring in the liquid glue. And we'll put this right inside. So we're just using stamps, ink, and paper. And then I'm going to go ahead and add the layer of Designer Series paper. We'll line that up as straight as we can. Press it down. I think that our liquid glue is getting toward the end. Then we're going to place this right over here on top of the DSP to the left. And then we are going to use dimensionals and pop up our sentiment. So we'll turn this over and we will add wishing you, get that lined up, wishing you the very best. I want to add a little bling, so I'm going to bring in the Rhinestone Basic Jewels. And we'll pop up one right there. And one down here. So here's our first card, wishing you the very best. My next card, I'm going to step it up just a little bit by adding an extra basic white layer. So our same card base, 8.5 by 5.5, folded in half and scored. And this time you'll need 2 of the basic white, 5 1/4 by 4. One for the inside, one for the layer. Designer Series paper, 5 by 3 3/4. And then 1 by 5 1/4. And then a scrap of basic white for our sentiment. So we're going to do our stamping. And we're going to bring the Pacific Point back in. And I'm going to go ahead and do the berries. I'm going to bring in a little cushion. If you don't have that, just make sure you press down really well. But since this is photopolymer, then it does help to have a little cushion, and you can even use a magazine. So I'm going to go ahead and use all 3 of those berries. And then I'm not going to stamp off in this. I'm going to do full strength. And I'll see if I can get my head over. Just kind of have to make a commitment and press evenly and straight up. Clean that. And we'll need to do that again because I thought I had wiped off the ink from my hands, but let me bring in, and we'll try that one more time. So we'll ink up our little berries. And I'm going to stamp off so it's not quite as strong. I don't want full strength. And we'll place it right down here in the corner. And hopefully I can get these as good as I did in that last card. Sometimes I can line them up perfectly, and sometimes I can't. I know where that's coming from. My block is what my problem is. I have too large of a block. So we'll try it one more time. Because what happens when you have too large of a block, then you get extra ink when I went to ink my stamp, and then that is what was on my card. So I'm going to take this off and bring in a smaller block, and let's see if we have better luck. Okay, third time's a charm, right? Press that down. Make sure you're in the view. This is a juicy ink pad too. But I don't have any ink up here because this stamp fits. The block rather fits my stamp fits the block, I'm trying to say. And then press down. And no ink. Great. So you do want to try to put your stamps on the correct blocks, because if you put your stamp on too large of a block, that is what happens. Okay. Why I closed that, I don't know. So we'll open that again, and we'll bring in our sentiment. Going to bring in beautiful, our bountiful blessings. And now we're finished with our stamping. And I am going to bring in the Timeless Label Punch. And it's in the annual catalog. I really like punches because they're quick and easy. So I'm going to line that up and punch that out. And lay that aside, and then we'll put our card together. And we'll add our inside layer. So we're using Pacific Point for our card base, which is such a pretty deep blue. I really like that. And then this time we're going to step it up. We're going to add basic white layer on the front of our card base before we add our designer series paper. And I need a new trimmer blade. I haven't, you don't need to change them very often, but you can start when it starts to fray here. And so I have it on an order. I should have one on hand, but I do not. And then we're going to place our designer series paper on top. I think this stamp set and designer series paper is so colorful, and they make such pretty cards. They're just quick and easy. And whoever gets them would, whoever gets them would just would smile. You just can't help but brighten somebody's day if they get one of these cards. And again, we're going to do the same as the last card. The only difference in this card is I added that extra layer, and I did use a punch to punch out a sentiment. And then we're going to go ahead and pop this up. Now, I could go ahead and stamp the berries, but I'm not going to. So I have 3 dimensionals. Pop that up right there. Need some bling. I'm going to bring in Pearl Basic Jewels this time. And here's my take your pick tool. I'm going to use a smaller one. These have different sizes. And I'm going to place it right here on the blue so it will show up. And I'll place another one. And then I'm going to do the medium size. You have small, medium, and large. And we'll place that right down here. So here is our second card. So the only difference is the first card, I did not add the extra layer. So here's the first card that we made, and then the second card, we added the extra basic white layer, and I did use a punch rather than just using the trimmer to cut out the label. The next card. And if you stay with me to the end, I have some more to share with you. So here's my next card that I do have put together. We're going to add a bow on here. So I have the card opening up this way. I have the berries. I used Poppy Parade for the card base, basic white layer, and the designer series paper. And then I have a strip that I put across this way, and I use my punch, and I did use Thinking of You from a different stamp set. I used a Thinking of You from another free item you can earn in the Sale-A-Bration Catalog by placing an order, a touch of ink. So I use a Thinking of You to stamp here because I need some Thinking of You cards. And then I wanted to add a bow, but I don't have any Poppy Parade. Ribbon, but I do have a roll of the crinkled seam binding ribbon, and this is in the annual catalog on page 160, 161. So it talks about it right here that it can be dyed using the classic Stampin' ink refills or the blends. And on page 160, you can see the ribbon. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to bring in the dark Poppy Parade Stampin' Blends, and we are going to color the ribbon. So we're going to just make our own colored ribbon. So this way, what I love about this ribbon is that you can use your blends, and it can be any color that you want to match any of your card bases, any of your cards. And then I only need to do one side. I think right here. And we're finished. Let that dry for a second. Let me see how long of, what did I guess it's about 11.5 inches that I cut. I probably won't need quite that much. So now we will make a bow. There we go. Then I can kind of just hold the middle and get it situated like I want. Get the size I want. A little bit smaller. And there we go. Pull that. And then I am going to adhere this with a glue dot. So I'll bring in a glue dot. And bring my bow right to the glue dot. And then we are going to put this right below the label, so it doesn't cover up our sentiment. Bring in our snips. from the edges. And here we have another card, Thinking of You. And if we wanted to, we could add some embellishments also. So let me show you some more cards that I already have finished using the same layout, card base, basic white, DSP, or just the card base without the basic white layer. So for this card, I used cherry cobbler for the base, DSP. I used a little strip of DSP, and I used a circle punch. And then I added a little heart from the heart embellishments that's in the mini catalog. So I put one right there. And then I did take my dauber and I used cherry cobbler from the ink, and I went around to make this around the circle. This is not cherry cobbler. I knew when I said that it didn't sound right. This is Poppy Parade. So Poppy Parade, and inside I stamped one of our images from our stamp set. And then how you add this, bring it in Poppy Parade. A little sponge dauber. And again, just tap off. And then you just take it and you just flick it around. And you just keep going all the way around. And then this is what you have. And then my next card is Granny Apple Green base and DSP, Wishing You the Very Best. And I did stamp the little berries, so you can just kind of see a hint of those. And then inside I have the berries. And then the next card, I use Pacific Point for my card base, a basic white layer. And here I went ahead and stamped leaves from the Berry Blessing. So right here, and I stamped it in Granny Apple Green ink. And then I just fussy cut those out. And I placed them on the card. And then I went ahead and used the punch and punched out the thank you. And the thank you comes from a different set than the Berry Blessings. The thank you comes from the Peaceful Moments. But I had a neighbor that gave me a pie the other day, and I wanted to make a thank you card for them. And then the little embellishments here, I used the Flowers for Every Season gems, which is in the annual catalog. And I just put a little glue, and then I took my Take Your Pick tool, and I was able to just pick up that gem and then just place it right there on the glue. So I put the glue on the card and then picked up my gem with my Take Your Pick tool and was able to add those. So these are all simple, colorful cards. So thank you, wishing you the best. You always have a way of making my day. Thinking of you. Bountiful blessings, and wishing you the very best. And we used stamps, ink, and paper. We did use a punch and some embellishments. So give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Please consider subscribing. It helps me to grow my channel. And these are bright and cheerful cards ready to be sent out to make someone's day. So I hope I've inspired you. Again, celebration is over Sunday. February 28th. So if you haven't placed your order, you may want to do so if you want any of the items from the Sale-A-Bration Catalog, because they will not be, once they're gone, they're gone. So after Sale-A-Bration, you won't be able to get any of the free items in the Sale-A-Bration Catalog. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.